Let's talk about weapon presentation and getting on target. Two of my favorite trainings to get used to that for an overall better experience, so that when it counts, you're already on target. Whether you're running these drills dry or you're using dry firing rounds, which is a laser indicator of where you're hitting on target. I have two different systems that I use, but whether you're using those or going dry, these two drills are perfect for getting your presentation down and getting on target, and just that make you just that quicker on engagements. Those training rounds are ammunition size, and they are specific to that ammunition. So the one I'm using has a red dot on there. Every time the back button is pushed, it has that rubber grommet back there. The firing pin hits that and activates that red light. And it is 5.56, 5.56.223. So whenever you do use one of those, it has to only be used inside of that weapon system for that caliber. So yes, it is caliber based. It'll fit in there. For instance, the 5.56 and the 9mm size difference, you know. So whenever you're using those, the firing pin will hit the back of it, as I said, and it will activate that red light showing you where on that target you hit. But these drills can also be used dry. Using a smaller target, you're able to get up on target and actually see exactly where that first indication of where your sights line up. It's going to be slightly different for a pistol, but you can still do it for a pistol. Rifles, as soon as you get up there, you're able to see exactly where it stops, whether you have the sling on or not. I suggest for people to use the sling, use it without the sling, and use high and low ready. Only thing I know it as is the ready up drills. And it's the going from low ready or high ready presentation to on target. So the way that works is low ready or high ready is referring to the positioning of the barrel. Wherever that barrel is, that is the indication of whether it's low or high. So from this position here, is a low ready. Whether it's here, 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 it's not quite on target, but it is low and ready to come up where it needs to go. As far as high ready is the muzzle pointing up, and you're here, butt stock up under your armpit in a natural position, and you punch out. Sorry, neighbors think I'm weird, but yes, you're punching out from the high ready, or you're coming from the low ready. This is beneficial, especially if you have a target already set up. Again, this is dry. There's no rounds in the chamber. Magazine well is empty. But when it comes to dry firing, I have a target set up, whether that's an object on the range or at my house. I'll have a target set up. I'll come into the low ready. I know exactly where my target is going to be and how I'm going to hold that firearm, and it pretty much just goes from that low ready position up into the high ready. I'm sorry, up into the firing position as far as buttstock, and you present. But you pretty much go from any position you need to, as far as low ready and high ready, and punch up, punch up. There's no system that's better than the other. It's just what you train. And again, if you're gonna train it with your sling. You can still do high ready with the sling on. You're still going up under the buttstock. Your muzzle is still pointing. You're looking over your muzzle, and you punch out. So you punch out. You don't want to be in a situation to where you're flagging people on the range or people at your house. Even though we know that this weapon system is clear, it's still about safety. All firearms should be treated as if they're real and loaded. Another thing to consider, if you are in a situation to where you had to use a home defense weapon, you don't want to be staring through your sight, going around your house looking for whatever possible invader, intruder there may be in your house. You don't want that, because after a while you will begin to get tunnel vision, and anything that you've been working muscle memory towards, as far as looking down at sight, looking at your target and pulling the trigger, that's what's going to happen. It's like this, and you see a target, muscle memory is going to tell you, okay, there's a target, we need to eliminate that target, or we need to fire around because that target is in my sights. And without positive identification, there's no telling what that target is. So again, there's no right or wrong answer to which one is better. It's whichever one you train more with and the circumstances around it. So if I'm here, I know I'm in the low ready, I'm looking over my sight, I'm able to process the information that's around me just that quick. You're able to, okay, friend or foe, okay? If you're down your sights and you just see movement, because your adrenaline's going, you know, nerves are going a mile a minute, you're looking down your sights, and that could be potentially bad for both you and the other person on the other end. So, low ready, identifying what it is you're looking at, your surroundings, and that's why you have light as well. It's not bad to use your light, but there is a such thing as excessive use of a light, depending on your training. But split second. So going from low ready to doing the ready ups. So I'm here and I'm scanning the room or the range, scanning for any targets that I might have put up to get the orientation of what I'm gonna fire at. So low ready. And if you can hear that click, that's me switching it from safe to fire, and just that movement. Same as for high ready. Switching it from safe to semi as I present. So whether you're training it with your sling, without a sling, with your laser, dry firing training round, get you some reps in. Whether it's you're using a scope or red dot, like I said in the last video, this scope on the one setting is almost no magnification, but close quarters, I wouldn't use my scope anyway, just because of how it's set up. So it's a lot easier since my body style. This is more comfortable me moving than having it straight forward. You know, this is natural for me, the way I ride. My hips, my shoulders, my wrist, and your personal injuries, your body style is gonna play a part in how you present. Is what's comfortable for you, what's comfortable and efficient, but most importantly, safe. So you go from the low ready, which is here, and just come straight up. And it may not look like it, but I am looking down my red dot and I'm getting on target. So if I was to look down my scope, just that slight cant. But red dot is on target. Again, high ready, I'm looking over my muzzle. You can also throw some transitions in there as well. And the reason I dropped it back into a high ready is because sometimes the situation calls for it. So if I'm coming here to engage a target and I notice another target, but there may be some civilians, there could be a beam, there could be something that's in between point A and point B, which is where I'm trying to get to. Point A, and out of my peripheral, I see something in point B that is a threat. To get there, just punching out. It doesn't have to be a full collapse.